Who is going to win the Qatar 2022 World Cup? That's the big question on everyone's lips over the next couple of weeks. And today we're going to see if we can predict the overall winner of the Qatar 2022 World Cup. As you can see below me, in addition to the winner of the overall tournament, we're also going to look at our surprise team, player of the tournament, young player of the tournament, the top goal scorer, and the golden glove. And in the comments of this video, I want your predictions for all 6 of those things down below so that we can look back on this at the end of the tournament and see who got it right. We've got a lot to get through, so we're jumping right into it. Group A. We're going to go through each of the groups now and select who we think is going to win the group and who's going to come second, so that we can then go forward to do the knockout stages as well. So Group A for me is pretty straightforward. I think the Netherlands will walk this group. I don't think they're going to have any issues at all. The next position, there's debate on this, but I think it will be Ecuador that come in second. I'm going to put Qatar at the bottom, unfortunately for them, and then Senegal to come into third. For Group B, again, I think it should be pretty straightforward. England really should win this group. If they don't, then we've had an absolute stinker. The second place position is something to question. I'm not really sure who might make this. I'm going to hazard a guess it's probably going to be the USA. There's a chance that it could also be Wales, and I am rooting for them because I'm like an 8th Welsh or something like that. But I don't think that they're necessarily going to have what it takes. I'm putting them in third, and then Iran rounding off the group in 4th position. Group C is a bit more interesting. I'm actually going to put Argentina at the... No, I'm not. I'm going to put them second because I'm going to put Mexico to top the group. I think they're going to have a very strong World Cup. Poland, therefore, are going to narrowly miss out in third. And then you've got Saudi Arabia rounding off that group in 4th position. Group D has got my surprise package because I'm going to talk about these guys in a minute, but I think Denmark could do pretty well here. I'm going to put them second still. I still think they won't have enough to get past France, but I do see the likes of Australia coming in 4th. I just don't think they've got a good enough squad for the World Cup, if I'm honest. Group E is the most interesting group because arguably Japan have one of the best young players in Kubo. If you have watched my Manchester United career mode, you already know about Kubo. We've already signed him for my Manchester United team from Sociedad, and he's a bit of a baller, I'm telling you now. He scored an absolute worldie on his debut. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out on the channel. It's a good series. Get involved. Yeah, they've got a great young player, but I don't think he'll get much credit from this World Cup because I don't think Japan will get very far, unfortunately. I'm going to go for Germany to top this group, Spain to come in second. I'm going to go Japan third and Costa Rica in 4th. I think that group kind of speaks for itself, really. Next up is Group F. This one is the most straightforward for the winner, Belgium, because I don't see any of these teams coming anywhere near Belgium. It's really what's going to happen next. Well, Morocco for me are definitely going to come 4th. I don't think they've got much juice in the tank at all. It's between Canada and Croatia. I'm going to hazard a guess Croatia will probably go through. Potentially Canada could cause an upset here, but I don't see it happening. Now, this is the group where I think there could be some real competition for that second place. Brazil, I think, will come first, even though I predict a bit of an upset against them from Serbia in our World Cup prediction. If you haven't got involved in that series, by the way, it's the series by where each game week we're going to predict the scores, get points accordingly, and see who's got the best football knowledge out of the whole Matt Ayres community. Go and check that out on the channel. It's out right now. It came out on Friday, and it's a really cool concept. I've been doing it for the Premier League all season long so far, and I think it's going to be really good for the World Cup as well and build a little bit of hype around that. With that being said, I'm probably going to put Serbia in second place, Switzerland then in third, and Cameroon coming bottom. I just feel like that's the way it'll go. Serbia, I think they're going to be a bit of a surprise package as well this World Cup, and I think they will compete with Brazil potentially for that top spot. Group H then, so I'm going to go a little bit different here. I'm going to go Uruguay to top the group, then Portugal, then Korea, then Ghana. It's arguably quite a difficult group to get out of, actually, because you've got a couple of teams in Korea and Ghana that can show up on the big stage from time to time. Portugal, I think, are going to be hindered massively by Ronaldo's conduct recently and the way that he's been acting, so I see them struggling as a result of that. And yeah, Uruguay, I think, have got a very good, decent young squad, so I think they're going to do pretty well this tournament. That brings us to our knockout stages. So this is where we can start to see what's going to form as our overall winner of this World Cup. There's a lot of interesting teams in here now. So We're going to start off with Netherlands versus USA. I think for me this is pretty straightforward. This is probably one of the easiest draws of the lot. USA or, Wales, whoever happens to go through in that group is always going to come up against a team that are probably going to dominate them from the get-go. So I'm going Netherlands there. I think they'll easily get through to the quarterfinals. Who's going to face them though? Mexico or Denmark? Oh, I've said recently in this video I thought Denmark were going to be an underdog, like dark horse of this tournament. But I think I've got to go Mexico. I've just got a feeling about Mexico this World Cup, and I think that they're going to do very, very well. So I'm going to put them to go through to the quarterfinals there. Next up, we've got Germany, Croatia. I think this one's pretty straightforward. Germany are probably going to walk this fixture. I don't see there being an issue there. Because of the way I've done the draw, the most interesting round of 16 tie is Brazil versus Portugal. Well, arguably not. France versus Argentina as well, I've just seen down there. So, Brazil, Portugal. This is Ronaldo's last World Cup, and I personally think that him coming out in the press recently and talking about the things he's been talking about has really put a dampener on Portugal's squad. I think all eyes are on Ronaldo. Every question they receive in any press conference for the whole World Cup is going to be, do you know any more about the Ronaldo situation? Has he been sacked by United yet? Do you know where Ronaldo's playing in January? It's all going to be based around that. So for me, I think that their World Cup will end reasonably early, and you'll see Brazil going through to the quarterfinals. Heading down here then, we've got England versus Ecuador, which I think personally is it potentially won't happen, if I'm honest with you. I think this may be a bit of an outside guess from me. I don't think there's a chance anyone could go through from that group. I don't think it's necessarily destined to be Ecuador. We'll go for England in that fixture. I'd like to think that we've got enough firepower and enough tournament experience within the squad to get past Ecuador in this instance. France versus Argentina, though. This is a massive fixture. France, obviously, have got this squad that is full of potential superstars. Tchouaméni, Camavinga, the list goes on. Like, they've got loads of players that could go on to have massive World Cups. Will they, though? Up against an Argentina team that's got a Lionel Messi who will be desperate, and I mean desperate, to win this tournament as his final World Cup. I'm going to go Argentina. I think Argentina get through that fixture personally. I don't see France quite having enough to see off Argentina, but that France squad is one for the future. I think that they're going to cause massive issues over the next 10 to 15 years. Belgium versus Spain then. This one's interesting. The Spain squad is what it is. I mean, let's look at the FIFA community, for example. Every time you get a Spain badge in a pack opening, you're pretty cheesed off. And that's because Spain aren't what they used to be 10, 15 years ago. They're not the powerhouse of world football anymore. And I think Belgium, being who they are, and being the young squad that they are, will come up and will potentially get through that fixture. That's a little bit of an outside pick from me, but I think Belgium have got enough to see it through. Uruguay versus Serbia up next. So Serbia are a bit of my surprise package, because I just think they're going to get a result against Brazil in the group stage, which is an outrageous prediction, but that's what I've thought. But I think Uruguay, this is their cup. I think Bentancur and Darwin Núñez are going to have very good tournaments. And I think that's going to be enough to see them through a fixture against Serbia. That leads us on to our quarterfinals then. We've got Netherlands versus Mexico. Where are we going with Netherlands versus Mexico? I gotta stop Mexico's train right there. I'm gonna have to go Netherlands. I really want to go Mexico. I really want to push them through to the semis, but I don't think that'll happen. I think it'll be Netherlands at this point. That's a pretty straightforward win, really, with the talent that Netherlands have got this World Cup as well. I don't see them having much of an issue there. Next up, we got Germany versus Brazil. Ooh, okay. This is an interesting one because Brazil, arguably the favourites to win this tournament by quite a way, actually. Germany, they're just a team that just don't give up, do they? They're always in and around it. Where are we going to go here then? I think I've got to keep a level head here. I think it's going to be Brazil. I'd love Germany to do it over Brazil, but I think Brazil are probably going to be the team that get through there. This is not going to be good reading for England fans. It's a horrible reading, in fact. We're up against Argentina in the quarterfinals if my predictions go the way they should do. And surely we've not got enough to get past Argentina. Every single time I see England up against a big team, I go, we could do it though. We've got the talent. We could do it though. It would take England to be firing on all cylinders to get past Argentina in this one. So I'm going to go for Argentina, England to go out in the quarterfinals. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go further than that, but I just don't see it being the case, unfortunately. Next up, Belgium versus Uruguay. I'm going to back Uruguay again. I think they're going to have a very good tournament. I think they're going to have a better squad than Belgium this time around. Belgium had a lot of hype and excitement around them about 4 or 5 years ago. I feel like that's died down a little bit now, and I feel like Uruguay are the up-and-coming squad, and they're the ones that are going to perform on the international stage this time around. So we're into the semi-finals now then. The first semi-final is between Netherlands and Brazil. Ooh, diddly-do. Who's it going to be this time around? Netherlands, I think, but they've had the easiest route into the semi-finals at this point, beating USA and Mexico, and their group wasn't hard either. This will be the first test they come up against, even though I have certain Netherlands players in mind that I think are going to have a good tournament, like Gakpo. I don't think they're going to have enough to see off that Brazil squad. I think that Brazil squad, the firing power they've got up top is incredible this year, so I think Brazil are going to win there. Argentina versus Uruguay then. I'm going to probably go Argentina. I think that Uruguay have done very well to get that far in the tournament, but they'll be their stumbling point this time around. It'll be interesting to see if they do make it that far in real life, not just in my prediction, but I'm quite excited for that Uruguay squad, and I think they're going to be very decent indeed. It leaves us then with our final. Brazil versus Argentina. Who do I think is going to win the World Cup this year? That would be a very interesting battle between those two teams. But I think that Brazil have just got so much firing power at the moment up top. You've got people like Antony, Richarlison's going. You've got Gabriel Jesus, who's of course top of the Premier League at the moment and firing all cylinders. So, I'm going to go Brazil. I think it'll be Brazil by the end of it. I don't see Argentina really... I don't know. I think it'll be quite poetic that Messi made it all the way to the final and then didn't win. I think that'll sum it up, really. With Ronaldo crashing out so early, I think that they'll be like, Messi's going to win it, he's going to win it, going to win it, and then Brazil just come in and destroy them. So, yeah, I think Brazil are going to win the World Cup. If I was going to do the 3rd and 4th place playoff, I'm probably looking at... So it's Uruguay versus Netherlands. I'm going to go Uruguay. I'm going to say they have a really good World Cup. They're our surprise package, so we'll whack that on the next screen. They're our surprise package. I reckon they come in 3rd place. Okay, so it's time to look at our awards. So, who's going to win each award in this tournament? Well, we know that the winner, I think, is going to be Brazil, based on the predictions we've just done. And I've also said that my surprise team are going to be Uruguay. I think they've got a really good squad, and I think they might actually end up getting towards the semi-final stages if they put in the performances that I think they're going to put in. That leaves us with Player of the Tournament, Young Player of the Tournament, Top Goal Scorer, and the Golden Glove. So, I think this is going to be pretty heavy towards a player who's not going to win the tournament. I think that for Argentina to get as far as they're going to get, they're going to need one player in particular to be firing on all cylinders, and that's Lionel Messi. I think he is going to have to step up just to get Argentina to that final. If he doesn't step up, Argentina don't get past France in that quarterfinal, in the round of 16, if that is the case that they do play each other. Even if they don't play each other, they'll end up playing each other in like the semis probably. So I would argue, for me, Messi is going to get Player of the Tournament. I think that he's going to be able to put Argentina on his back. He's desperate to get that World Cup medal. He will do everything he possibly can to get Argentina there, and I think he will fall short at the end. But he is going to have an incredible tournament. I've put him as Player of the Tournament, but I'm also going to be putting him as Top Goal Scorer. I think that he will have a special tournament. He needs to have a special tournament. His last hurrah, all of the media is focused on a certain other GOAT of the game, and I think that he's going to use that to his advantage and quietly go about his business, especially in the group stages, get a load of goals under his belt, and hopefully, you know, I think he will get the top goal scorer award in this tournament. Now, young player of the tournament is going to go to the team that is winning the tournament, is Brazil, and I'm going to go for Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr. has performed really well on the big stage already in the likes of the Champions League, and obviously in La Liga as well. I think that he's a player that is going to go on to take over Neymar's kind of star boy of Brazil, take over his position in that squad, and I think that he's going to have a very, very decent tournament. I think that he will contribute largely to Brazil's goals, whether that be in assists or actually scoring them himself. Obviously, attacking off the wing is his speciality, but he's also got the likes of potentially Richarlison in the middle, potentially Gabriel Jesus in there, who can put a ball in the back of the net. So assists should be easy to come by for him as well. So I'm going to give him young player of the tournament on that merit. That leaves us one more to go, and that's the Golden Glove. And looking at the fixtures that Brazil have had throughout the whole tournament, it would be hard to look any further than Brazil for the Golden Glove. So we're going to go with Alisson, assuming that he plays all of the games in the tournament. And I think that if you look at the teams that they'll be playing against to get there, apart from Germany, I think they could probably hold every single one of those teams to 0 goals. Netherlands, I think they could probably stop them scoring. I think Portugal, they could arguably stop scoring as well. They've only really got Ronaldo at Portugal at the moment, Rafa Leao maybe, a couple of other players as well, but not enough to really warrant them being a massive goal threat to Brazil at all. So I'm going with Alisson. He's getting the Golden Glove in my predictions. And yeah, that is the entire of my World Cup prediction. So as far as I'm concerned, Brazil are going to win it. Let me know who you think's going to win in the comments down below. And also put your surprise team, your player of the tournament, young player of the tournament, top goal scorer, and the Golden Glove in there as well. So we can come back at the end of this tournament, look at all our comments and see who got it right. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you're looking forward to all the World Cup content, please hit a massive thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new with your notifications turned on. Go and get involved in the World Cup Predictor. That is one of the series that's going to be running throughout the World Cup to see who's got the best football knowledge on the international stage. And I'll see you in the next one.